Hi friends, it's Anne here, and today's video is going to be a little drugstore get ready with me. So I just did a little drugstore haul video, and now I want to put those things on my face. So that's today's video. None of these items are super new, but they're new to me, so I'm excited to try them. I do have one item that I think is new, and that's about it. I've already done my base and my eyebrows. I'm trying to keep everything drugstore, except for I do have one sort of kind of cheat item. I realized I don't have any primers that are a drugstore primer, at least to me, like a drugstore brand like Maybelline or Rimmel or whatever. So the primer I put on is this little Nude by Nature primer. And the reason why I'm kind of saying this is a cheat is because it technically is available in the drugstore, and in my drugstores, at least Shoppers Drug Mart that I've been into, Nude by Nature is not like with like the fancy makeup, like the Clinique and the Smashbox. It's over with like the rest of the makeup, so we're gonna qualify that as drugstore, even though it's pretty pricey. And actually, speaking of pricey, I am wearing a combination of these two as my foundation. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. I have $4.15, mostly $4.15 on my face with a little bit of $4.35. Again, drugstore, but kind of pricey. Anybody else notice that? I feel like L'Oreal, like Revlon was always the most expensive, but L'Oreal feels like it's like inching up there. Then you have like Covergirl and Maybelline, and then you have like the Rimmel and the e.l.f. kind of thing. Like there's tiers in the drugstore makeup, and the top tier is getting pretty pricey. And then on my eyebrows, I have the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I don't know what shade this is in. Hopefully I wrote it down. I would guess that it's probably taupe. And then I have the Essence Make Me Brow, and I think this is called like brownie, soft brownie brows. So definitely my eyebrows are maybe a hair light. I should get a deeper shade in this pencil. I do really like this pencil. It's one of those micro point pencils. Anyway, let's get into putting the new stuff on my face. I think I'm gonna start with the face first and do my eyes after, and hope there's not a lot of fallout with the eyeshadow. I normally do like the eyes first and do the face, but we're just gonna do it a little different. So let's start with the bronzer. So the bronzer I picked up is this Annabelle Perfect Bronze bronzer in the shade Sun Goddess. I'm a little concerned that this is gonna be a hair orangey yellowy, but we will find out. Please forgive me for my background. So you don't have to look at my ugly hallway anymore. I finally bought like a background stand, but I don't have any actual like backdrops. So this is a sheet. Actually, it's a piece of fabric. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad now that we're getting it on the face. So yeah, I need to buy some materials, like some pieces of fabric for backdrops, preferably ones that are not wrinkly. As you can see, my background's a little wrinkly. I did try and steam it, but after about 15 minutes of trying to steam it, I ran out of steam. Wah, wah. And yeah, that's as good as she's gonna get. Okay, this is not looking as... I was a little worried that the shade was gonna be off, but it's not. It's good. We're good. I'm not wearing any contour today because I don't technically have any drugstore contour, I don't think. The contour palette that I have in my project pan is probably priced drugstore, but you can't buy it in a drugstore, so. Okay, the bronzer's on. Maybe not the best shade for me. It is maybe a bit yellowy orangey, but it seems to work. I was a little concerned that it was gonna be too yellowy orangey and it was gonna look weird, but I think it looks okay. So now, let's get on to blush. So the blush that I picked was this Quo Featherweight Cream Blush in the shade Heavenly. Now, I'm not sure if I've ever used a blush like this before, so I'm a little concerned. I'm not too sure how to apply it. I think I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand and apply with a stippling brush. Hopefully that works. I'm a little nervous. Breathe. Let's not F this up. I don't have any powder on my face. I find with that L'Oreal foundation, I don't need to powder my face. It seems to set pretty well on its own. So there's the blush right there. I feel like I haven't done what I normally do. So how y'all doing? This is maybe less of a chit-chatty get ready with me, because it's more about the makeup. Kind of the opposite of what a lot of my get ready with me are. Most of them are about just chit-chatting with you guys, but I'm gonna try and chit-chat with you anyway. How y'all doing? Here in Toronto, we have been in lockdown for more than 100 days. And what that basically means, it's not lockdown. Like if you look outside, you would never know. Like if you came to visit Toronto, you wouldn't know that there was like lockdown because it's still heckin' busy out there. Maybe not as busy as it normally is, but this is kind of working. What it means is like most retail, actually all retail except for like food, is closed. You can do curbside shopping, but that's it. Grocery stores are open. Pharmacies are open. I think I mentioned this before. Like the only store that I've gone into is like Shoppers Drug Mart, because you can get groceries there. And makeup, yay! But when I do pick up makeup, like I've ordered this stuff online because I feel super like stressed shopping in the store. I feel like I need to get in and get out. Like it's faux pas to like casually walk around the store and browse. That's one thing I really, really miss. I've never been a huge shopper, like in terms of, I know some people that buy a lot all the time. That's what I compare myself to. But I just like browsing. Like I like just going out and walking around, window shopping, walking in the stores, seeing what they have. And I miss that. I miss that sort of casual, not feeling like everything's a mission. It's looking pretty nice, I think. It's a little stressful. This is a lot of work too. There's probably easier ways to do this. I'm sure if I just use my fingers, it might be easier, but I'm nervous to do that. So yeah, as of next week though, that we're supposed to be going into the gray zone, which means retail can be open with like 25% capacity or something like that, which I have mixed feelings about. Like I'm so fed up of this like lockdown state just because it's exhausting. But at the same time, so what's happening here in our province in Ontario is our numbers have pretty much plateaued. They've kind of done this a little. Specifically in the areas that I am, like Toronto, it's very much plateaued. Like we're pretty steady with our numbers, even declining a little bit. Other parts of the province though are now starting to creep up. Like other parts of the province have opened up ages ago, which in some cases it makes sense. Like I think of back home, like they've had so few cases there, so it makes sense. Like why should they be so locked down the same way Toronto is? But at the same time, it's like, it's so frustrating that other places are open and we're not. And like my stress was that they were never going to take us out of lockdown, and numbers are going up in other areas. So they're going to be like, okay, everybody locked down again. It's like, we never left. Like, oh my God. Pretty light with that. I like it though. I really like how it's blended into my skin. It didn't seem to lift my foundation. I've heard or I've read online that people have said that this sets pretty well and lasts. So we shall see. I'm gonna try and do a check-in later today. I don't know. Sometimes I forget about that. And then I also do want to film. I might film a second video this afternoon. So that means I do like to try and change up my makeup just so it's not so boring. But we'll see. So I may or may not do a check-in. I'll try. So we're gonna do highlight. The highlight that I picked is this Catrice highlight. It's really, really pretty. It's got a nice little imprint on there. This is in the shade Supreme Rose Beam. I mentioned this in my other video that for whatever reason, there's only this one shade on the Shoppers Drug Mart website, even though there are 3 shades in this little More Than Glow highlighter. I like this though because it was like a pinkier based one, and I don't really have a lot of pinkier based highlights. I feel like a lot of highlights lean gold, and that I don't really suit that very much. So I'm going in real gentle right now. I'm like, maybe too gentle. Maybe I can up this a little more. Oh no, there we are. Well, there we are. Yep. Okay, we're good. Actually, I feel like I have like glow to my face, even without the highlighter. I'm trying to go extra glowy lately because I think it's fun. It's not normally my style, but I'm enjoying it. Just want to make sure I blend it out. I like the glow, but I want to make sure I'm not too stripey. Like in the face, real soft, real gentle. That's kind of what I was going for with this makeup. Kind of want like a soft, gentle, although I do want to try an eyeliner that's black, and that's going to throw this off a little bit, but that's okay. So the eyeshadow palette I'm using is this little bite-size e.l.f. palette in Rose Water. Again, so surprised at how tiny this is. But I've mentioned, like, the pans are not that small. The actual palette itself, like, I like this. Like, let's maximize the space of the pans and minimize the space of the packaging. That makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you, e.l.f. I'm just gonna put Covergirl Lid Lockup as a primer. So the other fun thing, I think I've mentioned this in my last Get Ready With Me, mentioned this at some point, is we're real behind on vaccinating, and just our province is not doing a good job. It's starting to pick up now. The sort of local health units are starting to just like run with it. Like if they've got vaccine, they're like, make an appointment. So I'm hopeful that things will pick up, but it's even like a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm not even sure I'm gonna get vaccinated in 2021. Like that's how behind we are. I know we were kind of poo-pooing you guys in the States because we're not doing a very good job. Well, I shouldn't say you weren't. It's not a global thing, but there was obviously some issues in terms of various states keeping the vaccine under or the virus under control and people taking it seriously, whereas I felt like for the most part, I mean, we still have our nut jobs. There's like this group that like drives around that's like, no masks, free hugs, no masks, something like that. It's like, oh, go away. I don't want to hug you. I wouldn't want to hug you in normal times. So, but yeah, now we're sucking. So I'm gonna go all over the lid with this color. I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. I don't even think I'm gonna use the deep shade. I think I'm just gonna go all over the lid with this color. I don't even know if I want to put this in the crease. Let's just go all over the lid with this color, and then we'll see. We'll go from there. When I did the swatches, yeah, that color was the one that like intrigued me the most. So yeah, you guys are like way ahead of us on vaccines in the States, like vaccinating people. I know you guys have had some issues too. I've seen some people complaining. The one thing that's really difficult is a lot of stuff is they're trying to rely on like doing things over the internet, which is great for most of us, but when you're trying to vaccinate 80 plus people, like 80-year-old people, most of them don't know how to navigate the internet. Not very well anyway, and if there's any confusion on your website, like they're gonna get stumped very quickly and they're gonna give up very quickly. I know my dad, even though he's just over 70, something's awkward, he gets angry real quick. I mean, we all do. I mean, he will give up, he'll be like, that's it, whatever. Like totally like abandoned. So I've tried to like let them know, I'm like, keep an eye out your local health unit, keep in touch with your doctor, because that's where I'm more concerned. Yes, I've kind of accepted the point of like, I'm less concerned about, like, I don't want to get sick, I don't want to get the virus, I don't want to get sick, I don't want to be that person that's like on a ventilator. I'm less concerned about that now. I'm more concerned, like, I'd really like my dad to get vaccinated so he can feel like he can get back to life. Like, I feel like I'm managing, but I can see it's wearing on my dad. Like, he is just so irritated by all of this. And same with my brother. I know my brother is just like fed up. Because again, up there, like there's no cases. So I know vaccines don't adhere to boundaries. Like county lines, doesn't really matter. But in some cases, just due to the nature of like everybody's really spread out up there. And if you're not a person that like, it'd be different if my brother like worked in the grocery store or something like that. Like they lived more in town or something. And so you have a closer proximity to other people. It's a little darker in person than it's showing up on camera, but it's really, really pretty. Like just a really pretty all over shimmer. Just gonna blend out the edges a little. And then I'm just gonna go in the inner corner with the lighter shade. Find the brush that I want to use. There it is, right in front of my face. Just gonna go on the inner corner with this lighter shade. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this. This is like, this was $4 Canadian, which I think they're $3 US. So I was super impressed that like, this is the sometimes annoyance of being Canadian, is something like this will be like, oh, it's only $3. Then in Canada, it's like 7 or 8. It's like, what? There's certain products that seem to be overly inflated in Canada. Really irritating. Anybody remember when the dollar was the same? That was actually a real good deal for us. We could go shopping in the States and buy so much stuff because your dollar seems to stretch further. Like the overall prices are lower on actual products. That makes sense. That's always the irritating thing too as a Canadian when you buy books, because it says the price right on the back and it'll be like $9.99 on the US and it'll be like $15.99 Canadian. You're like, damn it, but it's the same book. Anyway, really like that. That's really, really pretty. Just want to keep it real simple. Now we're gonna go in with this eyeliner. I'm pretty excited to try this. It's gonna kind of ruin this whole soft look because I'm now going in with a black liner. I know I wanted to try this on the waterline, like the lower waterline. I don't know if I want to do that today because that's gonna make this look a little more intense, but let's start with the upper line and then we'll go from there. Sorry, I never mentioned the product. This is the Essence Extreme Lasting Waterproof Eye Pencil in 01 Blacklove. When I tested this out on my hand when I did the haul, This was budge proof. Like, it did not move. Okay, hopefully while this is a little creamy still, I'm gonna try and blend it out a little on the edge here. This is the hard thing too with like, if I want to do a chit chatty get ready with me, there is nothing different than the last time I talked to you. It's so boring. I guess the only other thing maybe I can mention, because like this is the only thing, like what have I been doing? I've sort of redone my closet, my front hall closet. So my front hall closet is like a typical front hall coat closet, but it's actually pretty deep, so it's kind of like a storage closet as well. But it had these two stupid little shelves, or like this wide, little wire ones, and they're really high up. Just not useful. So I've taken that out and put new shelves in. I have filmed all of that. I think I'll put a video together. It's gonna be like the most boring video ever, and really hard to like, because the closet's like, it's literally only like this wide. It's gonna be super awkward, but I think it might be useful to somebody, maybe. Because when I was doing it, I did have to Google. I kind of had an idea what I wanted to do, but I kind of had to Google and look up some videos just to kind of check what I was thinking was gonna make sense. It's still not 100% done. I have to fix the shelves, but it's pretty much there, and I'm pretty happy, like, because my apartment was a disaster. Because I'd taken, basically think of like any utility closet you have, and then any sort of coat closet you have, take all of that out and just put it in your living room. That's what I've been living with for like the last little while. You can't see that because I hide it from the camera. But see, hide it from the camera. Okay, we're just gonna do the waterline because whatever. I just want to test this and see how it's gonna work. I'm gonna try and keep it pretty light though. Okay, that's not so bad. I just didn't want like a super, which I do like to really outline my eyes sometimes, but that wasn't what I was going for with today's look. But this is like drawing on super easy too. I'm impressed on application with this, so we'll see how it goes in terms of wear. Just gonna curl my eyelashes, and then we're gonna do the Covergirl Lash Blast Clean Mascara. I just wanted to show you what the brush looks like before I shove it in the tube. It's kind of hard to see because it's really light, but it's just like a plasticky, pokey. Looks pretty even. Looks pretty similar to, I think, the regular Lash Blast, like the one that I've used before that's in like, well, I use the waterproof one, but it looks pretty similar in terms of wand shape. Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, so far, I feel like I'm not getting anything out of the tube. That's one coat on one eye. I can't really tell. I can't really see them. I'm not super impressed yet. I think because I'm so used to using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which is like, bam! Right out of the tube. It can be a bit clumpy. It can be a bit much for most people. I can see that. Not most people. I think a lot of people like it, but I can see why people don't like it as well. Make the stupid face. Okay, one coat seems to be okay. Okay, that's looking pretty good, I think. It's a bit more, it's not natural at all, but a hair more natural than the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which I use most of the time. If I'd stayed with one coat, it definitely would have looked a bit more natural. I also kind of feel like I sometimes keep going in there, which I shouldn't do, to try and like separate some of the lashes. I should probably I need to buy like just a plain spoolie so I can use that to sort of comb through and separate those lashes that get stuck together. Anyway, let's go on to lips, just finish this up. I don't have any new lip products. Everything, I mean, these are new-ish, as in I bought them last year, but they're not new. This is the Milani lip liner, color statement lip liner, and this is in 03. So I know I talk about 04 all the time because that's in my project pan. And then I just have this little e.l.f. tinted lip oil. It's got a shade here, Nude Kiss. All right, and that is today's look. So on first impressions, I don't mind this. I thought I was going to be a little like disappointed in the color, but it seems to be okay. I'm really liking this. I need to play with it more and try different application techniques. Like this took a really long time. Hopefully maybe if I can just try using like my finger, it might be a bit faster, but it looks very, like it sort of really blends into my skin. It doesn't feel like it's sitting on top of my skin the way powder blushes sometimes do. And then yeah, the highlighter, definitely like this highlighter. It's not as pink as I thought it would be. It's a bit more of a white base, but I like it. I like it a lot. I'm really excited to play with this a bit more. Definitely definitely really happy with this. Like for $4, you can't get any better than this. Like this is pretty good. I want to buy more of these. Now I see why people basically bought all of them. But I know like out of the ones I've seen, other than the 2 new ones that are the green ones, but like I'm not really a huge green person, I feel like all the ones that I've seen released have colors that I already really have. Probably the best thing about this is it's convenient for travel, which is not really happening right now, but really happy with how this applied. Like the color was really pigmented, really smooth to put on. Yeah, now I see why everyone raves about these. Really happy with this. This, at least on application, super good. We're gonna see how this wears, especially on the lower waterline, see how long it lasts. And yeah, the mascara was fine. Like I don't know what makes this clean, but I bought it. I bought into the marketing. I also just really like the tube. It's real pretty, like that color. So yeah, really overall happy with my new purchases and playing with them. Just doing a quick check-in. It's been about 6 hours since I did my makeup, and the blush is still going strong, and same with the highlight. And I can still see some of the bronzer as well, so that's all looking pretty good. So I feel like the eyeshadow looks pretty good, but it has migrated a little bit on the inner corners of my eyes. Unfortunately, the eyeliner is not bulletproof. It's still there on my waterline, but it's definitely worn. Like this one, you can definitely see it's worn off quite a bit. But like my upper lash line looks pretty good. Like it hasn't really migrated, I don't think. Maybe it's migrated up there a little bit. That happens to me often. My eyeliner sometimes migrates up here. I need to just double check that in the mirror. It's hard to tell in the little viewfinder. That's where I'm looking right now. And the mascara looks pretty good. I mean, I took a nap, so this is post-nap face. Not immediately. I took Harley for a walk as well. But yeah, the makeup's really held up. The lips, I'm wearing a different, I'm wearing one of my Project Pan lip things. Like, obviously it was a lip oil, so that's not going to last at all. So yeah, pretty happy with the face makeup. Pretty happy with the eyeshadow. Eyeliner, it's okay. I'm going to play with it a little bit more and see. I mean, I didn't apply very much. I went pretty light-handed with it, so I don't know if I apply it maybe a bit more, like maybe go with like a second coat. That might help, but I mean, it is still there. It's just not as perfect as I had hoped it would be. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you did subscribe to my tiny little channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.